The following program is a public service of Gulf Coast State College, WKGC, and Commodore Productions. And now, the Military Hour with Carrie Dieter.
Welcome to another edition of Military Hour. We have a very special guest today, Lucretia Wentworth. She was a Spec 5 in the Army UA, and she is going to tell us about an organization that she's involved with, I was unaware of, and I suspect probably most of the viewers are going to be unaware of this as well, because when I heard it, obviously you know how we do acronyms, WOW is the first thing that came to my mind.
Yeah.
And it is kind of a wow thing. WomenOfWarUSA.com is the website.
Yes.
But first and foremost, welcome, Lucretia.
Oh,
good
thank
to
you.
see you again. It's
nice to
been
see
a
you as well.
while, probably a year.
Oh, about a
or
year and a
more
half.
since I've seen you.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
As soon as I heard you were involved with this, I was like ecstatic, like, yeah, we need to get this information out, because, and I looked through the website and such, and what a great work.
Oh,
I had no idea.
The ladies are doing awesome work. The founder and co-founders, Vicki Basse and Cindy Moore.
I read their stories,
Yes.
read them online. We'll give you the web address again, but they both have tremendous stories.
Yes, and the WOW is actually young. It's been less than a year
Is
since
that
we've been.
right?
Yes. Now, the inception of it, or the idea of it, came, about 3 years ago. And I had met Vicki, and I were roommates at the strangest place. We were both doing some work for our PTSD in Bay Pines.
Okay, yep,
yes.
down at Bay Pine.
And so we were roommates. So we've been like friends ever since. So.
You know, myself, along with a lot of others, we just don't like the D, because it's post-traumatic stress.
Yes.
It's not a disorder.
No.
I mean, we just have this thing
Yeah.
that we have to learn to deal and cope with, and be able to, I don't like to use the word control, but it's pretty much what we have to do.
Well, it's sort of
at
like
some
making
point.
friends with it. You learn to live with it.
Realizing.
Yes.
Yeah, coming to that realization, yeah.
So.
And there are some people that go, oh, well, that's just a bunch of hooey. Really? Yeah.
Unfortunately, I wish it were.
Yeah, I
it
wish
was.
it were too.
It's one of those things. If you could give it away, you really would.
Absolutely.
Because I don't know anyone who actually lives with it that enjoys it.
No.
This is not it's not an enjoyable thing. But
No. Well, okay, we're
But
not
we
going
are
to
able
get
to
into
live it.
Yeah, we're not getting
Okay.
into that, because we kind of been there, do that, have to do that, and we will continue to do that.
yes.
So we just have to.
Yeah.
But let's talk about the women of war. Fabulous.
It is. We saw that there was a gap in the services that are offered to veterans, and unfortunately, female veterans. When people think of homeless veteran, the first thing they think of is a male veteran. Of course, because there are fewer females actually in service and veterans. So
Per capita.
That's per capita. But unfortunately, female veterans have a higher rate of homelessness. And usually if the veteran is homeless, her children are usually homeless with her.
I was shocked to see that and read that. I'm thinking, but then it makes sense how that could be so disproportionate that more women wind up being homeless than men. Now, extrapolate numbers,
Yes.
the percentage of women is higher than men.
Yes, and it's
Because
through no
of
one's, it's actually through no one's fault. It's simply,
Right.
the concept is kind of new for most people. And there are more beds or facilities actually that actually help male veterans.
Right.
So what Women of War is doing is we found a piece of land, outside Tallahassee.
Already.
So already we found the land. It's just having to pay for it now. It's, okay, but it's going to be the first of its kind actually in the Southeast, and probably in the country. It's going to be basically a working sort of farm where we're able to give counseling to ladies after they have completed a program.
So they'll have kind of a hands-on thing with maybe
Definitely.
farming or
Oh,
animal
yes.
husbandry and that type thing.
Oh, yes.
Fabulous.
Yeah, it's
Great idea.
Yeah, it is, because it's after you do 90 days, because some have different substance abuse problems, perhaps,
Right.
or simply dealing with the illness that they have. And you leave the program and you're not always able to go straight back to your family. There needs to be a little bit of a buffer there. And both Cindy and Vicki have worked with veterans for years now. So that's their main niche. Okay, so they know the problems, they know the issues, and so they're able to help.
I was equally impressed with reading their background, their family backgrounds.
Yes.
It was like, oh my goodness. I mean, no wonder they were in the military with some of the relatives that, I mean,
Yes.
some people of stature as well in the military. And so it's like not a surprise that they would then go that direction, even though that wasn't their impetus or where they thought they were going to wind up.
Yes.
But that's where they wound up. And it's veterans helping veterans.
Yes, it is.
And that's the whole key with every organization that's out there.
It's not something that we're just like babying or whatnot. Veterans happen to understand veterans a little bit better. And so we don't let each other off the hook.
Yeah, we're not
as
inclined to baby each other, are we? No,
No.
we'll hold your feet to the fire.
Yes, and that's definitely what's needed. And so to be able to give these women the assistance that they need in this transition is so important.
Oh, absolutely.
And so it's
Absolutely.
a wonderful thing. It was actually the way that it was really quite funny. One day Vicki called me and she was talking about it, and I actually was like, you know what? I was like, either do it or just stop talking about it.
Yeah, squatted it off the
she
top.
was like, I was like, I'm tired of hearing it. So we've been hearing it for a while. Do it or leave it alone.
Yeah.
And so she did it. Within 6 months of that, she and Cindy had become incorporated, and
And it
found
is
an
a
office.
501c3.
They are 501c3,
organization.
yes. And the multitude of services that they're able to give now, even before we're able to do the ranch, is amazing. There's housing vouchers that we're able to give so that when they do find out someone's in crisis, right? There was a female veteran, she had children, and one was a special needs child, and she found herself homeless. So women of war, able to put her and her children in a hotel, at least give them some temporary housing for a moment. But within 3 days, working with HUD-VASH program, able to get them an actual home so that they're actually have somewhere to live. So it's those type of things. And there's also a food pantry. And so that, you know.
I did read that as well.
Yes, there's a food pantry, and there's lots of counseling that goes on as well. So it's filling a need that few people actually realize that is out there. So
Yeah, it's like one of those unseen, it's a need, yes, but it's an unseen problem because it's not in the forefront or foremost. In fact, even here in Panama City, and I don't know that any women are doing this. I know there's some men that do it, that are homeless veterans. They'll kind of hang out in the library during the daytime when it's hot because they have some cool air in it. So that's kind of a place where they gather. And of course now they've got to leave when it closes and all that. But how unfortunate.
it is.
That, you know,
Because
there
nobody wants to
shouldn't
think
be
of our
one-
brothers and sisters out there without
No.
basic necessities
there
being met.
shouldn't be one homeless veteran, male or female.
Yes.
That's just unconscionable.
Well, one of the things that was kind of disturbing to me is one day I was speaking with a woman that I know, and we were talking about female veterans, and she actually said, well, how many could there really be? And I was stunned because I was like, okay, you're a person that's actually in the know.
I was going to say, did you hold it together, Lucretia?
Yeah, I did.
Good for you.
Took a little effort.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things, female veterans, a lot of us have a hard time even recognizing or acknowledging to others that we are veterans. There's usually a disconnect that happens somewhere along the line, whether
And that's a
she's
shame.
experienced trauma, or just combat, either
Right.
way. There's usually that disconnect. So a lot of women will not say that they are veterans, and that's sad because our service is just as important as anyone else's service.
Absolutely.
And I mean, I'm blessed in the fact that I have a husband who's also a veteran.
Well, I'm very
So-
proud to have met today.
Oh, yeah, awesome.
Absolutely.
And-
I won't mention his name as Clayton, but we'll go forward from there. Gotcha.
But it's one of those things. It's trying to connect with one another.
Right.
So, but here in Bay County, it is getting easier and better. There, the Bay County Vet Center on Minnesota.
Oh yeah, Matt
Okay.
Standish.
They do, yes,
Great
they do
guy.
great work. There's a couple of support groups that they actually have that are for female veterans only.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, they have that. Oh, even the mental health clinic here at the VA
Yeah.
has a female support group. That's just
So I didn't know
women.
that either.
Yeah. See, so nobody knows. So nobody. It's
And
like,
I go out there.
yeah, you gotta tell everybody. You gotta tell because
Yeah.
there is a place for us, because people will not intentionally, but they'll sort of put a female veteran and they'll lump us in with a spouse. No, nothing against spouses, but those are
Right.
different issues.
Sure.
Those are
Yeah.
so yeah, it doesn't work out for us very well. So usually we'll retreat. Isolation, of course, is a
Sure.
bad thing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so getting together, being able to have that support of someone who understands is a wonderful thing.
Yeah, and I can't speak for anybody else, but I still have those times where I isolate.
Yes.
And it might be a day, it might be 3 or 4 days, and then eventually I kind of can talk myself through and out of it. But when it happens, it just is.
Yes. Well, that's
And I
one
can't
of the great
explain it.
things. Yeah, that's one of the great things about having the sisterhood of the women that I've met in the support groups, is we're able to check on one another.
Yeah.
It's peer-to-peer counseling, which is the greatest thing in the world. So if you haven't seen her in a couple of days, or you haven't heard from her in a couple of days, you call her up. And yeah, just to see what's going on. And that's, again, another of the wonderful things about the support groups that are here in Bay County, is that they meet weekly. Both of them meet weekly. So you're able to lay eyes on her just to make sure she's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
And the males, the brothers do that same type of thing of holding each other accountable, because we can tell. You know, if I say, and I could probably tell with you, even
Oh,
though
yeah.
it's not like we've had this great long friendship for 10, 20 years or whatever, but some of the commonality, I could go, hey, Lucretia, how are you today? And based on your response, I can tell whether it's true or not true, because the flags go up. It's like, oh, come on now, what's really going on?
yeah,
And
because
I
wearing that
don't know.
mask.
I don't know how we are all able to do that. For the most part, most of us can. It's we call it the BS flags go up. It's like, okay, talk to me.
Well, it's the shared experience.
Yeah.
It's that shared culture that we've all lived with. And so it really is a sisterhood and a brotherhood.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I mean, family knows family. You can
There you
always
go.
tell when family's hurting.
Now I've got a question, and again, not taking into consideration just numbers. This is just something I've noticed over many years. Yes, there are tremendous numbers of female veterans. I've had them in my family. When I was a little kid, I had some that were World War II and Korea,
Yes.
and whatnot. But in any event, I don't see that many women becoming involved or joining, say, the American Legion, the VFW, the AMVETS. And I'm asking you, just if you have any idea why that would be, that maybe they're not comfortable in those places.
That's
or,
actually it. I read now Facebook. Love social media. It's wonderful because it's allowed a lot of us to contact one another, and women that are like Vietnam era vets,
right?
and women that are Afghanistan vets were able to connect. And
Right.
one of the things that I read this morning, which made me happy and sad at the same time, was that one of the women was stating that for the first time a couple of days ago, she walked into a VA facility and she was able to get the help she needed. And she said the reason why she had not done it before is because she had devalued her service and felt that she was not entitled to the benefits and the services that are offered by VA. And a lot of times that does happen, unfortunately. And so we just step away. I mean, myself, I can honestly say, if it weren't for my husband, I probably wouldn't have gotten the help that I needed, because it was something that you actually want to forget. Or, yeah, so that acknowledgement. And actually, organizations such as AMVETS or VFW, they really are pretty good about trying to reach out to female veterans,
Oh yeah.
right? So it's just us getting to the point where we're comfortable.
You know, and running along that same track, and I'm sure you've seen or heard through the years, men go through the same thing, and here's what men do. I was one of them. Oh, okay, great. Yeah, did my time, got home, give me back the world, lovely. Oh, I don't need any of that stuff. There are veterans that need it worse than me, so I felt like I don't want to be taking anything away from a brother or a sister.
Yep, there you
So
go.
I didn't bother with the VA until it wound up being a necessity for me after I became uninsurable after a heart attack and cancer. And so I'm like, well, what am I going to, oh yeah, that's right, I'm a vet.
Yes.
So, and I cannot count how many, probably less than 2 handfuls, but I come across people that are veterans, and it's been women and men, same thought process. And I'm like, why don't you get in the system?
Yeah.
Come on.
It's
let's
really
go
easy
get you
now.
the car. Yeah.
It's easy now.
And I'll
for a
take
veteran
them
do.
to either down to 11th Street or send them to see John Deegan's down there, or I'll drag them out to the clinic or say, let's go.
Yes.
You know, so
It's
it's
one of
not,
those
it
things.
certainly wasn't unique to me or to anybody else, but there are those people, male and female, that think, oh, you know, that money should be spent on other veterans that are more worthy.
Yes, that was
In our
one.
mind.
Yeah, that's one of the delusions we give
Yeah,
ourselves,
yeah.
so that we're not worthy. But one of the things that does happen on occasion, which it's getting better, is sometimes when female veterans go to, let's say, a VFW, somebody will point them toward the women's auxiliary. Yeah, but no.
Yeah, I get that. I get that.
Yeah, I mean, there's that disconnect. Sometimes people forget, like, I'm lucky enough to be a spouse of a veteran, but I'm also a veteran. So don't automatically think when a woman approaches the organization that she needs to go to the women's auxiliary or
Right.
the ladies auxiliary. Yeah, no.
No, that's
She's got those same.
mistake.
Yeah, that's a mistake. She's got those same campaign medals as the gentleman that's, sitting across from her. So
Roger that.
we can remember that instead of making that assumption. It helps a great deal. It really does.
Well, there you have to have presence of mind and be cognizant, that I'm dealing with a veteran here,
Yes.
not a gender.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
And
'Cause
that's where the disconnect happens.
yeah, we miss. Well, you're missing. Sometimes we miss the camaraderie that we had in service, because I know you males feel the same way. And the thing is, when we were in service, our comrades or our friends were men, and it's that wonderful thing of you just connect
Sure.
on a certain level. So, looking for that connection.
Right.
So that's what we're trying to get more women to do, so that that question that I heard, how many can there really be? I don't have to ever hear that again, because that was
Yeah.
one of the things that was heartbreaking. So actually, to bring awareness that about female veterans, there have been a couple of really great documentaries. One is Served Like a Girl.
Served like a girl. I'm
Yeah,
gonna have
it's
to
a-
remember that, because I'll watch it.
Oh, it's awesome. It's available now on iTunes. And Women of War, we are working to bring it for viewing here in Panama City.
At one of the theaters?
We're praying it's going to be at one of the theaters, so we're trying to get that worked out so that people can be aware. What Served Like a Girl is actually about is it's telling the story of, I don't bet you didn't know, there's a Miss Veterans America pageant.
No, I had no idea.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So it actually tells the story of some of the veterans who are in that pageant. And it happens every year.
That's terrific.
It's an awesome thing.
I've got to make mental notes here, which means that I better write it down, because if it's here, it's going.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's even a soundtrack for the movie, for the documentary, which
Terrific.
I was listening to on the way here.
And you are going to text me this information or
Oh.
email me, right?
Definitely.
Good. Appreciate sister.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Excuse me. Website, womenofwarusa.com. Check it out. A lot of really good information there.
We're also on
This is
Facebook.
On Facebook?
We're on Facebook.
Women of War
Women of
USA.
War. Women of War USA Inc. I believe.
Inc.
Inc.
Okay.
Yes, because there's another Women of War. But Women of War USA Inc. Now, there is something that we do have coming up a little quicker than the ranch, is that we have a retreat for next year. Did you see that on there?
I did. Tell them about the retreat deal.
Oh,
That's another one. What a bargain. What a bargain. Up in North Carolina.
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
We had
Okay,
a donor.
I'll shut up.
Oh, no, it's fine. No, we had a donor who he didn't have the funds that he wanted to be able to help, but he did have a campsite. So he was like, what if we allow you all to use the campsite for, a weekend or a week for a retreat? And awesome. So that's what we're doing. It's going to be approximately $99, $100 per person. Okay, but we're trying to get the funds so that as many veterans as possible can take advantage of it without actually having to spend the money. So it's one of those things. Yeah.
And it was, if I remember, forgive me for interrupting you, I think next October in 2018, and it was a 3 or 4 days.
It's a 4 day. Yeah, it's 4 days. Yes. So it's
for $100. Can't beat that.
No, you can't. No, and especially, there's different things that are going to be going on, but being outside, being in nature is a wonderful way to not really self-soothe, but to, I guess that would be,
I was going to say,
it's a
because I have
wonderful
a
way to
method for
self-soothe.
doing that
Yeah.
too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sit out there and watch the bay, and I listen to music, and it's like, all is right. So, leave me alone. I'm okay.
Yeah, it's a wonderful way to get on the path to healing if you haven't actually gotten there yet, or a way to just celebrate the fact that you are.
But that's
on that
a
path already.
deal. That's a deal. That's a deal. $99, $100 bill.
$100. That's
for
it.
a weekend in North Carolina mountains.
Yeah. You can't beat it with a stick. So
No,
yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, I thought that was stellar when I saw that. So you do some holiday deployment packages, I think I saw.
We've just, that is wrapping up, so to speak. I had to say wrapping up, and then we are talking about Christmas.
Christmas, yeah.
But it is. It's, let's see, it's, there it is. What it is that one of the units that's near Women of War, there was a need. So the Christmas packages, they've been building Christmas packages to be able to mail to to active duty.
Sure.
Now, and then to go along with that, to partner with that, also we are getting toy drives for the children of the active duty members who are serving, so that they may not have their parent at home during the holiday, but there will be things under the tree, the toys and whatnot that the children will need. And being able to help the spouses also. I believe it's the 183rd Fighter Wing, I believe is actually the unit that we're
Good
helping.
deal.
Yeah.
Now, the headquarters for WOW, Women of War USA, has now located in Monticello, Florida.
Yes.
So they're in-state here.
Yes. We actually
Is that
finally
for
have a
region,
building.
or is that the entire country?
Do
you know?
Yeah, for the entire country. Because at
entire
this
country.
point we're a small organization.
Sure.
Right, hoping to expand. Well, not hoping to expand, but definitely expanding.
Oh, you will.
Yes. So we're actually hearing from women all over the country and men from all over the country, which is a wonderful thing. So people are reaching out, and we are able to, if we can't find the services, if you're not here, we obviously can't find the services for you or point you to it, but we can find the services online for you and be able to get you the help that you need. And that's actually one of the things that the ladies have been doing is, let's say there's a veteran in need in Washington State. Women of War will actually go that extra mile and find a veterans organization or a veteran to be able to help walk that person through.
To connect with them
Yes.
and guide them along.
To guide them.
That's just fabulous. Fabulous.
Social media is a wonderful thing.
Well,
So.
yeah, it can be.
If it's used correctly.
But there's so much on there. I find myself a lot of times going, no, not reading it, not, you know. But if it's something pertinent, well, then I'll read it and pay attention to it. But
It's sort of like the news. I mean, I sort of like pick and choose.
I don't care what you had for dinner yesterday. I mean, really, I don't. Yeah, I care what I had for
I
dinner.
still don't understand that thing. I get them myself, right? People take pictures of their food, and I'm like, I don't know what you're trying to tell me there. Yeah, I mean, I cooked today too, so I'm just like, just wondering about that. But yeah, there's a lot of food pictures.
Or your arms in a cast and you got, or stitches and something. I feel bad for you, but why are you putting that up there?
But I do appreciate the cat and dog videos. Those are wonderful things. They make me happy.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I oftentimes tell people, it's funny that for some reason little kids and dogs and cats and all kind of critters like me. Grown-ups not so much, and that's okay.
Oh, you're
the
like my
grown-ups
husband.
don't have to like me.
Oh, no. It's not that grown-ups don't like my husband, but my husband seems to be, he is a serious magnet for every little person or animal. I have, it's an amazing thing. My nephew, like, forgets I'm even, like, there. He doesn't care. Because he's like, oh, no, it's my uncle. It's my uncle. I'm like, hey, yeah, hi? It's like, yeah, he could care less.
Yeah, I get that. I don't know how, and I don't know why, but okay, whatever. I'm good with that. So, anyways, but this is so significant because whenever a group of dedicated, determined ladies get together,
Yes.
whether they're veterans or not veterans, or they're intermixed, and I would imagine you probably got some that
Yes.
are working with you that aren't veterans, but just have the heart for helping veterans. There's no stopping you.
Oh, no.
There just is no stopping you.
I mean, there's that, whenever you have that much compassion and that much determination, there's nothing that we can't do. All over the country, there actually have been different female veterans who like have opened one home or one transitional housing. And so what we're trying to do is like on a larger scale.
Sure.
To be able to help more. And it's a wonderful thing. I mean, being able to help your sister at her time of need, there's nothing better. So, not for us anyhow.
I get that. I really do.
Yeah.
Now, and I don't want to finish on a negative, but we're going to try and turn a negative quickly into a positive because we all know that not only today, it's been down through the years as well, but veteran suicide, horrible blight, terrible. One is too many.
Yes.
Was too many. Will always be too many. And that is a problem in the female veteran community as well.
It's a larger problem, unfortunately, for female veterans.
And we don't hear about that.
No.
And why do we not hear about that? Because we don't want to realize that that's what's taking place with our female counterparts?
Yes.
And why would you turn a deaf ear? Why would they be immune to the same stresses and triggers that the males are? They're not.
No one wants to
Can't
think or feel as if their sisters or daughters or wives are going through that. It's not sexy. It's not something that people, it's easier to put a female in a box and say that she's okay and she's all right. But unfortunately, that's not the truth. Our sisters are dying at a rate higher than we would ever want.
And I understand that because I've had two females in my family. One of them was my sister, and another one was an aunt that both took their lives. And it was tragic is not a good word because there's no describing the loss when a loved one does that. There's just, it's indescribable. And the pain never goes away.
No, but there are ways to live with the pain. And that's actually the positive part of it. That's there's more and more programs. The VA has made such a wonderful effort to let women veterans know. Sometimes, though, I think that they may miss the boat. Like, for some reason, they decided that they needed to change the wording. I thought this was crazy. They need to change the wording for when you go into the VA. It's usually it says these men, right? Well, you know what? Female veterans don't really care what the wording is. So all that money they put in that study to decide to change the wording so that it's gender neutral, no, that money could be better spent helping the veterans.
It's the action, it's the action and application that matters, not the verbiage.
Well, that seems to be one of the things that unfortunately happens.
Yeah.
People do things for female veterans thinking that it's what we need or what veterans in general need without actually asking the veteran. How about you ask the veteran first what it is they need, and then we go from there. And so that's actually what we're trying to fill that gap with.
I want us to be able to continue this discussion and go down this road a little more in depth at another time, because we're coming up on time that our time's going to be up. But I want to say this. It is a pleasure to see you again. And it was a definite pleasure to meet your husband.
Oh, I hope you
thank
connect
you
with
for
his
your
group.
service as well, brother. Appreciate that. God
Thank
bless you. And
Bless you too.
we need to do this again. Promise me we're going to do that.
Okay.
Open invitation.
All right. I can do it whenever.
Good deal.
All right.
Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Check out womenofwarusa.com.
Yes.
Thanks.
Thank you.